French.
And you went to Paris hoping to get a job.
Yes.
Wow.
Kind of jumping head first.
Yeah.
Right?
You've got moxie.
Yes, I originally seen an atelier house. It's called CHCH. And I originally seen it featured on Martha Stewart. She went there and did kind of a tour of the atelier house.
Okay.
And they were showing how it's handwork it's a dying trade.
Right.
And I've always been interested in beading and crafts. And I thought, you know what, one day I'm going to go there and I'm going to do this. So.
Wow. And this is some of the beading work that you've done now. And you've worked for the house for Karl Lagerfeld.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Karl Lagerfeld actually bought over the house of CHCH.
Okay.
Because it's a dying trade, they didn't want to let the craft diminish, so he went in and bought a few of the different atelier houses to keep them up and running.
Wow. And I just want to get some close-ups here of the detail, because you'd think that this is just a piece of fabric. This is fabric made just from beading.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yes. So
all of that detail. And you said you were working on these little tiny little pieces here, and you'd work overnight, you couldn't see, and you'd come back in and it wasn't good enough.
Yes, if it was off about 1 millimeter, when I would go back into the atelier the next day, they would actually rip out all of my stitches, and I would have to start over again.
But what a learning process that is,
yes,
right?
Yes, it makes you, well, you have to be very patient,
right.
But it really makes you, you know, appreciate the craft for what it is.
Right.
So
what you've done is you come back to Canada now, and you kind of looked at some of the jewelry you made before and thought, wow,
yes.
this is I could add so much more to that, right?
Yes,
so let's get into the jewelry then, because you've added a lot more of the techniques that you've used with the beading and everything into your pieces.
Yes. Yeah. So I was lucky enough while I was in Paris to kind of go outside of the couture shows and Paris Fashion Week and see the street style that was worn in Paris and by the celebrities. And also see what was on the runway when the models would come out. So a lot of it was the chunkier stones, incorporating the chains.
Right. And are these semi-precious stones? Or?
Yes, these are all semi-precious stones, so mixtures of turquoise, agates, labradorite, and the crystals are also all Swarovski crystal. You can't beat their sparkles.
No. So it's interesting too how you've kind of incorporated some of the chain and everything like that, but all asymmetrical. I'm loving that. And it's big and chunky.
Yes, yeah. The asymmetrical is kind of my little take on it.
Because I guess on the runway, it's got to be big and noticeable, right? So it has to have an impact like that.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? Personally, I just like a statement piece. I think if you're going to wear something, wear it, right?
Right. So now you're selling these online, and we'll get the website up there. It's glimpsebeads.com.
Yes, that's
okay.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, is this? I mean, hopefully, and you're taking your pieces into boutiques as well.
Yes, yes. Right now, so Kim will be our Canadian sales rep, and she'll be contacting retail stores throughout the area and trying to branch into that side of the market.
Wow, this is so cool. And you got your training locally. You went to Sheridan.
Went to Sheridan originally for textile design. Yeah, but always wanted to bead the fabric more than silk screen and do what I was supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. So you've kind of just taken it one step on your own and everything. And I mean, where do you go from here?
So from here, I'm actually incorporating the embroidery into the jewelry. So for example, this piece here is a piece in progress.
Yeah.
And this is actually going to be turned into a bracelet. So
wow.
It's all Swarovski crystal, and it's all hand embroidered and hand beaded. And
so then how do you take it from there where it's on a very, very thin fabric with the stone and everything? Do you have to put it on metal on top of that?
Well, this is actually going to be transferred onto an ultra suede.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then this is a vintage silk from Paris. So a lot of my materials I try and, you know, not just run of the mill, I try and do vintage or Swarovski, so it's something a little more special.
Fascinating stuff. Well, thanks so much for coming in and sharing this, and good luck. I'm sure we're going to have you back on again.
Yes,
so glimpsebeads.com is the website. Sarah, thanks so much for coming in. We've got more news coming up at 8:30. Stay with us.